Piyush Goyal, who handles social media and all communications for Mr. Modi, National Treasurer and Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP. Salman Soz, Congress Party spokesperson, special on issues related to the economy. Baijon Mishra, a consumer voice. Good evening, and good evening to Devesh Thakur, JDU leader. Thank you very much. Now, Salman Soz, there is a point always beyond which you will have to apologize to the people of this country for what's going on. I genuinely believe that the time has come, don't you? When vegetable prices are going up by 77% year on year, and I don't know if you know, but the onion prices have gone up by some 245% year on year. This is the highest increase. It's gone beyond symbolism. Mr. Soz, would you like to begin the news hour tonight by apologizing to the people of this country for this kind of a situation here today?
Arnab, I'd like to begin the show with expressing concern for the people sitting at home who are watching this show, and those who are not watching this show, who are also very badly affected by inflationary pressures. But let me just, you played lots of sound bites before the show started, and Mr. Modi talked about how the UPA government has been talking about lowering inflation, and nothing really has happened. But I think Mr. Modi should get his facts straight. Headline inflation, which includes, by the way, food inflation, energy prices as well, was around 9% in 2011-12. Went down to 7.4% in 2012-13, and recently has been hovering around 5%. Although in the most recent month, you've seen that it's gone up to about 6.1% unexpectedly. Now, why have the prices gone up? There are two main reasons. First,
one second. Food prices. Just to correct you, right on top there,
yes.
So that you don't unwittingly pass on the wrong information or a wrong perspective to our viewers.
I'm not talking about I talked about headline inflation.
We need to
choose which inflation index to use whenever.
Headline inflation includes food prices.
No, you can't say that.
Yeah.
That's an unacceptable way of saying it. That's an unacceptable way of saying it.
No. Headline inflation is why?
Because the basket is what is important. What pinches the common man is what is important. The man has to survive. He has to eat 2 square meals a day. And believe me, people are suffering, people are angry. Statistics don't feed a stomach.
Mr. Goyal, the thing is that, economy and everything, we deal with facts. Okay?
The fact is onion prices are where they are.
Index.
Vegetable prices are where they are.
But you
don't get a thali of food for 5 rupees or for 12 rupees.
You see,
with all due respect, Goyal Saab, with all due respect, let us try and understand what's happening. You had a late planting season, you had heavy rains in the summer, supply of vegetables, including onions, got disrupted. Now, you will see that the monsoon, we expect, and all
Salman Soz,
the monsoon is going to be a very good one, and you will see prices of onions and other commodities coming down.
Salman Soz, one. I want to know from you. I want to know from you genuinely, Salman Soz, whether Mr. Soz, your excuses for not being able to control prices are also as seasonal, as the monsoons you refer to. Because if I'm not mistaken, in January 2011, the same Rahul Gandhi who has been hard selling the government's commitment to the poor, he blamed coalition politics for the government's failure in controlling inflation in 2011. So in 2011, coalition politics is the reason, right? Today you are giving some other excuse.
The monsoons got delayed. Government has no role to control.
245% increase is not symbolic anymore, Mr. Soz.
Did I say that the monsoons got delayed?
Yes, you just said it, sir.
I said there were heavy rains which affected the supply. No, I said there were heavy rains in the summer that disrupted the supply chain. And that is, you're seeing that translate into some of these prices. But
where is the supply
Arnab,
chain?
let me get to this point, please. One thing that we should, there's another aspect to the inflation that we never talk about. Never. We never talk about it. And that is purchasing power. You know, think about what's happened to poverty in this country. And it's very important that people at home understand what's going on in this country. Because if you don't understand what's going on, you're not going to be able to fix it. What has happened is that 140 million people have been lifted out of poverty in the last 10 years. That's more than the population
Please,
of all of
that's
Pakistan.
Mr. Soos, Mr. Soos, with respect, Mr. Soos, with respect, allow me. You know that is junk economics that you are saying. With respect to you, that is junk economics, Mr. Soos. That is junk economics because Mr. Soos, because Mr. Soos, please allow me to just elaborate why I think it's junk economics, and you can counter me. The fact is, you don't have to be a Keynesian. You just have to realize while our food prices match that of the world, our per capita income is much lower, which means that the burden on the common man is much greater. And our per capita income has not increased much. And so let's not try and give this impression here that the people are complaining too much. Because in your argument tonight, I find an undertone. The undertone tonight in your argument is, and I get Bejon Mishra, then I'll get you in. No, let's get everyone in.
Please.
Salman, let's get everyone in. I'll let you bat back.
Okay.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And I will also open up to phone calls. But I fear today that the underlying argument that Mr. Soos is presenting on the Newshour seems to be motivated by the belief, unfortunately, that the media of this country and the people of this country, the middle classes, are complaining too much. Bejon Mishra, your response. Well, that's how I read it. You may disagree. That's how I read it. Bejon Mishra is responding to you, the consumer voice tonight.
Yeah, you see, every year is the same story which they talk about. Where is the supply chain in our country? I find that a vegetable grower, he takes the vegetables every day from his farm and sits in the footpath to sell it to the consumer. I don't see any supply chain. I don't see any kind of an infrastructure mechanism which can control unforeseen circumstances, which will allow prices to remain in a constant manner, to be able to enable the citizens to get the basic fundamental food in a very reasonable price. Today, what is happening is nobody is sensitive towards this issue. There is no investment being put in terms of cold chain, in terms of good storage facilities, in terms of having a good distribution system. All this big format which you talk about, the big retail format, what has happened to them? They have all become party to this whole, engrossment and enrichment business. It's all profiteering and market and, kind of doing all kinds of illegal trade. Today, what is happening is, what was the use of enacting the Essential Commodities Act? I would like to ask every parliamentarian. Why did we have the Essential Commodities Act legislated in our country? What for? What was the reason behind it? To ensure that nobody is allowed in our country to take the consumer for a ride in terms of profiteering, in terms of black marketing, in terms of engrossment, in terms of enriching themselves due to the so-called, as our Congress...
what is the point of a government?
Monsoon was
you see, eventually proof of the pudding is in the eating. And this government knows very, very well that, and there was a report on onion markets, and I'm talking about the onion deliberately because there was a report on onion markets by the National Council for Applied Economic Research, Salman Soos, and you can check it out if you don't believe me, which said that collusion is the key limitation, that 8 or 10 traders dominate trade in all key mandis. Your government knows that these sort of monopolistic structures have built up because of which I or the people of this country cannot afford a balanced diet. Our prices have gone up, our fruit and vegetables have gone up by 60%, eggs, meat, fish have more than doubled. Your government has led to such a situation where the Aam Aadmi, the real middle class, cannot afford a balanced diet. Don't you feel answerable for this? Devesh Thakur, do you accept
No,
Salman Soos's defense?
it's not a hidden fact. It's not a hidden fact.
No, Indians cannot afford a balanced diet under this regime. So, Salman Soos, please hear Devesh Thakur's response to you. Devesh Thakur.
Arnab, I agree, I think more than 100% with what Mr. Bejan Mishra has just said. I don't think there's anything called supply chain in this country. There's no storage facilities, nothing of the sort. Everything what Mr. Mishra has said is 100,000% correct. I don't know, you can't hide things just by bringing in new words, what headline inflation and supply chain. When there's no monsoon, you say the monsoon is wrong. When the monsoon is okay, you say the supply chain is wrong. The fact is, you don't have any system. You don't have any system. When there is a surplus monsoon, especially in the areas where the onion growing areas are there, and then you say that there are 200 and 250% increase in the prices of onions, there has to be something wrong, not something wrong. There has to be everything wrong with your system. Please try to correct them instead of saying headline inflation and supply chains and so much percentage and all this jugglery of all these statistics. Please stop that. No one is interested in hearing that. Please give this common man, when you have a surplus monsoon, give them what they want, give them what they want at an affordable price. What's the point of getting this food security bill? You want everyone in this country to be getting help from that food security bill.
Arnab, may I tell you?
I've asked this question before, and coming to you. I've asked this question before, that if the government has given up on the middle classes of this country, and if the government feels that the middle classes of this country, everything for the middle classes is up except their salaries and their investments, then I think there needs to be disclosure on that front. Because Rahul Gandhi had very clearly said, and I'm quoting him, he said recently in relation to the food security bill, Salman Soos, he says, is providing food to the people called wastage of money? The opposition says it's a wastage of money. We want the poor people to stand up on their feet. Now I'm asking you, Salman Soos, you can provide rice, wheat and coarse grain at 3 rupee, 2 rupee and 1 rupee to some people. What about providing milk, onions and vegetables?
Gram, chana, pulses,
precisely,
cereals.
Precisely. And
people need a wholesome diet. They cannot survive on 5 kilos in a month. It's impossible. You can't get 1 square meal with enough calories for a poor man to survive. And the gentleman from the Congress is now diverting attention to the headline inflation. Since you want the public to understand it, may I, Salman Bhai, inform you, the headline inflation...
Public is no longer fool.
Salman Bhai, headline inflation comprises 676 items. The poor man, whom you call, who's got below poverty line at 32 rupees a day, barely making 2 ends meet, is buying only food items. His entire month's budget is 3 or 4 items. The 676 items in wholesale price index that you call headline inflation and you are trying to draw satisfaction does not affect the common man. He's concerned with his daily necessities. He's concerned with what he has to pay to live, to survive, to make his children go to school and live a decent life. That is the headline inflation does not satisfy the common man.
You answer the mother today. No,
one more thing, Arnab. Yeah. Headline inflation is measured at the first point of sale.
I've never believed it.
The bulk sale.
I've never
the poor man doesn't get wholesale prices. He has to buy at the mandi.
Let me...
Arnab
will...
Salman's turn, and then I take the first caller tonight after Salman Soos's reply. Yes, Salman Soos.
Because Arnab, because you always say the nation wants to know. If the nation wants to know, then let me at least speak. When Mr. Goyal talks about, for example, he was in a veiled way, kind of attacking the food security bill that the BJP supported.
Where does the food security bill come in?
No, you were talking about... No, I'm just talking about... You talked about these 2 rupee, 3 rupee, those kinds of things.
Arnab said that.
Mr. Goyal...
I said that.
If the BJP...
Arnab said that, gentlemen, please realize that.
Okay, all right. All right, but anyway, I've heard you, Mr. Goyal, on other TV channels also criticizing the FSB. But if you did
No,
not
I
want
have
to support
criticized it for
then you
not
should have
doing
just voted
enough.
against it.
I have
But-
criticized it
but-
because you have
no,
only
okay. You should
repackaged
do more.
existing entitlements. The poor
Okay.
man gets nothing new because of your
Goyal-
security
Mr.
bill.
Goyal-
You're making a fool of
Mr.
the
Goyal-
people of
Mr.
India.
Mr. Goyal and Arnab.
No, you can't
Arnab,
mislead.
Mr.
Okay,
Goyal
one
is
sec,
on
one
record
second, one second.
that the food
Mr.
security-
Soos will complete his remark now.
Arnab, Mr. Goyal is on record that the BJP supports a larger package than the existing food security bill. That's point number one.
Are we discussing
Point
the food
number two.
security bill? No, why
Very
is the
important-
Congress
very-
obsessed
no, no,
with
no,
the food
I'm going to
security
come to
bill?
inflation.
No, it
I'm
seems,
coming-
it seems the
I'm-
Congress
I'm
party's
coming to
favorite
inflation.
subject is the food
I'm
security
coming to
bill.
inflation.
No, no, one second. I am asking
No,
you
I'm coming to
today.
inflation.
I am asking
Can I
you
come to
today,
food
Mr.
inflation?
Soos, allow
I'm coming
me.
to food inflation.
Mr. Soos, one second. You see, let's get our facts right. I am
wanted
asking
to
you.
talk about food
I am
inflation.
asking you about the vegetable security bill, the onion security bill,
Yes.
the milk security bill, and I am asking
talk
you.
about it.
I am asking you to answer the mother
Yes.
who cannot afford milk for her child anymore because the rate of increase of milk has got one second, from 2 to 5 over 5%, which means the percentage rate at which milk prices have gone up compared to year on year have gone up by 100%. I am asking you to answer that mother who and the
I will
person
answer
running a
too.
household who cannot afford vegetables, milk and onions. That your prime minister
But
your prime minister said, no, allow me to complete, Mr. Soos. Your prime minister said in January that we need to take solid steps to ease the inflation on price rise. I am asking you tonight, where are the solid steps? Answer me.
Let me tell you.
Where are
that.
the solid
okay,
steps?
I will tell you.
Yeah.
You know, because by the way, I was going into this. Arnab, just if you indulge me for just 1 minute, I was initially going to give you a sense of why in this country there has been some persistent inflation of food prices. But I'm not going to go there because then you're going to say that you're now talking about pro-poor policies and other things. So I'm not going to talk about that. I will answer you on this particular thing as to what are we doing or what have we done
No.
that is going to bring down inflation.
No, I'm saying, I've said
now
today,
we
but
don't
the
want to talk
headline is,
about
I
that.
say, stop your sniping.
What is
You see, no, one second. You see, you have your favorite subjects.
No.
You have your favorite subjects. I say,
No,
stop the
I'm
sniping.
going to talk about
Why
what
doesn't
we're doing.
Rahul Gandhi come on a debate? Let's have an open debate. Let Rahul Gandhi
is
debate the
pro-poor?
subject. Let Rahul Gandhi
I'm
debate
here.
the
Rahul
subject
Gandhi
with
does not
Mr.
need to
Modi,
be here.
with
I'm
anyone.
here.
Let's hear a talk on the economy.
No, well, Mr. Modi can debate the subject with me. Modi can
Well. So we have a new prime ministerial candidate from the Congress. Look at the audacity
because
of
in the
your
Congress- in the
panelists.
Congress-
He wants to debate with Mr. Modi,
in the
who's
Congress-
going to be prime minister in 7 months.
Why not?
I love that.
Because Mr. Goyal, the discussion on the economy, if Mr. Modi wants it, I am more than happy to debate him. But let me give Arnab his answer because he asked a question.
No.
So let
Well,
me
why should
respond
Mr.
to
Modi
that.
debate you? He's been asking your prime
I'm very-
ministerial candidate to
All right,
debate
Mr.
him.
Modi should not-
We want to know what are the
Mr.
views of the
Mr. Modi
Congress
should not
at the
debate me.
senior level,
All right.
at policy level.
Mr. Modi should not debate me. All right, Mr. Modi should not debate me. Fine, I agree with you. He should just debate himself.
He
Let
should
me-
debate deficit to
their lines are
5%.
lines are jammed.
Who brought the fiscal deficit on this country?
Who
brought all this agony on
let's
this
say-
country? Your government.
I'm happy to. I will gladly debate you on the economy.
So please
I'm
do
gladly
tell
going to
me.
put the
No, I
UPS
want to discuss
performance
onions.
Next to yes, let me tell you. Do you want to discuss it? Let me tell you.
Yes, I want to.
No, one sec.
If
One-
you take growth
No,
rate
he's wasting
per
our time.
capita income three times yours. What you're now?
Well, if you have a 12%
you
inflation,
don't want to listen to facts.
Salman, if you have a 10% inflation
Where?
every year, any common accountant will tell you on a calculator
I say one
per
thing.
capita will become
I don't know. I don't know.
That's with inflation.
I don't know. I don't know what favorite subjects politicians have. But I think the only subject today are onion prices. And from Guwahati to Kolkata to Thiruvananthapuram to Delhi to Kashmir to Patna, wherever we are today, I think it's unacceptable and criminal that the people of this country who are also subject to losing jobs, greater unemployment, lower options for investment,
Absolutely.
rising EMIs are also having to cough up 80 rupees for onions. And if the government feels that this is something they need to live with, I'm sorry. But that's unacceptable. Our first caller from Mysore this evening, and Devesh Thakur and Bijon Mishra will come to you. Rakesh is calling in, and he's calling in from Mysore. Good evening, Rakesh. Welcome to the Newshour. You have a question or a comment?
Good evening, Arnav. How are you? You've been missing in action. Thank you very much for coming back.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to have you be back on air tonight and to be putting the news out to you.
I have a small question for my great friend Salman Soos.
Yes, sir.
Salman, I just wanted to know from you. You're talking about so many control things which central government has done. Show me one measure they have taken. They have not controlled vegetable prices. They have not controlled onion prices. Forget about all that. I'll come to one more reality. You're all forgetting that. The fuel prices in average 17 Asian countries is just 39 rupees. Why it is so high in our country? Why it is so high?
Okay, we'll take a second caller. Well, good point, Rakesh.
Thirdly, one more thing. The monopoly on the consumer.
Caller number 2.
Please kill it.
Caller number 2, assure Salman Soos, add to the Congress party. The calls are coming through unedited tonight. Our second caller is from Dhanbad, and it's Narendra who's watching the news. Good evening, Narendra. Who's your point to?
Yeah, sir. I thank the Swamiji. I thank you.
Thank you.
I want to. I have seen your question. I am showing your channel from about 8 to 9 months per day, news hour. But I am showing the face of Mr. Salman Soos. That your question is very good. That it is secularism or the common person. But what's the range of the as a onion, as a this? I think that they will talk on this. That will be better for all the Indians.
So the question there goes. It's a very relevant question. Can the Congress party, which has done nothing but tokenism in the case of Muzaffarnagar, can the Congress party with the centre not having really acted or intervened despite the fact that UP has become a communal cauldron, can that same Congress party avoid a debate on the economy, on onions and on vegetable prices here today under the excuse that we want to debate secularism first? I think it's a relevant question. It must be put. Our next caller, 3 callers, Salman Soos. These calls are all coming through unedited, and from Delhi, it's now Prashant. Prashant, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. I have been trying to talk to you since last couple of months, and I have been very lucky to get the chance first time.
Well, it's good to have you.
My question is to Mr. Salman Soos. I think he's from Congress.
Yes.
I do not believe with any political party. I am a neutral person of this country. I pay heavy taxes. I have a right to know from this Congress gentleman that you have all the answers in your kitty. Whenever there is a question, you do not accept the fault of the Congress party. As a layman, I am telling you, after earning so much, the expensive things is thinking daily. I go to petrol pump, I feel I should leave the car. And I go to vegetable market to buy this. Today I bought onion. It was 70 rupee kilo. You know, I am not earning in dollar. I am earning in rupees. I have to pay EMI. I have to pay my son's fees. You know, This Congress party, I'm blaming now.
Well, Prashant, the three callers tonight from Mysore in the south, from Dhanbad in the east, and from Delhi in the north.
And I want to add.
Well, and Baijan wants to add something, but before that, let Salman reply. Salman, this is the way people do feel. And no amount of, trying to do this maneuvering on the fiscal deficit as an answer or blaming global factors all the time is working among the people.
And who's responsible for the fiscal deficit or current account deficit going down to this depth? They after all got a current account surplus when they came into power 9 years ago. Where did that surplus become a 4.8% minus?
I will, Mr. Goyal, I'm happy to respond to you and to compare UPA versus NDA anytime, but I think the callers asked for certain responses, so out of respect, let's talk to them. One of the callers talked about, I think, who referred to me as a good friend as well, talked about, fuel prices, for example, as being inflationary. We have to remember that in 2004, a barrel of crude oil, which is the basic kind of building block for what we get at the gas station or the petrol station, was $34 to a barrel. Right now, the same barrel costs about $110.
No, but where are you getting the onions from?
I think that.
How does that explain onion price?
No, wait a second.
What about onion prices?
I will tell you.
Well, crude oil is not refined into onions, is it?
No, it is not. It is not refined into onions. But what happens is that when a major part of your imports, which is oil, gets more expensive, that feeds into the economy.
Are you seriously saying that onion prices are up because of crude prices globally?
No. What I'm saying is
you couldn't
that when
be
you
saying
have transportation issues.
No.
Because of course, look, Arnab, either you are an expert in economics or I am a student of economics.
No, I'm
because,
just I'm no expert. I'm another suffering middle class Indian.
No. But Arnab, your rhetoric might be for fun TV. But there are real lives that are affected by price rise.
You mean this is fun TV, Arnab?
Let's educate.
Let's try to educate. Onion prices, fun TV.
I think
solid lies.
No, but that's what I think.
I want to ask.
Common man wants answers. He doesn't look at this as fun TV.
I now ask you, Salman.
Yeah, because I'm trying to respond.
Salman,
only amusing thing, Salman, by your argument.
You let me respond.
No. Salman,
I am trying to explain to people. I'm trying to explain to people sitting at home as to what is going on.
Yes, and
why prices can rise. There are lots of different factors. By the way, do you think for a moment that
I want to come in.
Do you think for a moment that any incumbent government would just willy-nilly just decide that let inflation go up and we don't care? Because
certainly not.
Look,
but you're doing it.
Yes,
because you don't know your economics, Salman bhai. First of all, sort out your supply side, supply chain. You cannot just do monetary policy, keep increasing interest rates and kill India's story and hope that inflation will sort itself out. That's 50-year-old, 70-year-old theory.
Mr. Goyal, let me
textbook economics will not feed the hungry man.
What did you do?
I'll tell you what we did. Yes, I'll tell you what we did.
For supply chain improvement.
I'll tell you what we did. When the BJP-led NDA was in power, we brought inflation down from 9% to 4%. You inherited a legacy of 4% from us, which you have taken up to double digits for the last 4 years.
One second, let me respond. Now I'll come.
He's misleading the public, Arnab. Oil prices tripled in our regime of 6 years.
You want to debate? You want to debate the performance of the UPA with the NDA? Or anyone from your party, including your Neta, can come and debate it, and I'd be happy to answer point by point.
Salman shows Bijon Mishra coming. The one thing I cannot fathom is that you are what you're saying you cannot believe in. I am absolutely convinced that you cannot believe in it. No, you cannot. And your government this whole excuse. Because one second.
All right, what is the reason for the inflation?
Please, I'll tell you the reason. Okay? Yeah. There are 4 reasons, and I'll tell you the biggest reason. The biggest reason, I'm sorry to have to say it directly. There are a few big traders, and I'm quoting from the findings of a report conducted by the Competition Commission of India, which looked at major onion prices in Maharashtra and Karnataka. It was submitted to the regulator, okay? I'm not making this up. The key reason is that a few big traders with highly well-connected networks, in which I don't rule out political networks, with market intermediaries in other markets, play the biggest role in hoarding for unexpectedly high prices. I ask you tonight, why don't you arrest these people?
I will respond
No,
to that.
why have you? Because
Exactly.
Well, I'm asking you, Bejon, is that a relevant point or not? You know the problem. Why aren't you arresting those people?
Absolutely correct. You
Those
see,
cheats.
Arnab, you must understand, Salman must understand that it is not diesel price and petrol price which is affecting. It is creating barriers in the route of transportation. Do you know today, to cover a distance of 500 kilometers, the transporter has to stop at 20 places, and the delivery of the goods are delayed due to such barriers created, which not only
Jaipur highway
diesel and
killed
petrol,
infrastructure.
but it also increases taxations.
Devesh Thakur has been quiet on the debate.
He doesn't
I get
even
Devesh Thakur and next
that
caller
his
in.
own government is creating barriers which is adding up to the cost of onions and vegetable transportation.
Absolutely. So-
And he doesn't even understand that there needs to be a kind of a seamless transportation made so that the availability is there. None of the state governments are sitting together to understand that how to do that.
So-
they have got big cooperatives running, they have got warehouses, they have got state-run societies, but they are all taking away taxpayers' money, but not delivering what they have been made for.
I'd say today, I put this question out. No, one sec, Salman, 1 minute. Your government has a bounden responsibility to the people of this country to carry out
absolutely
immediate arrests and then punishment of all those people who run these cartels, right? And if you think there are other people involved, state governments involved, expose them to. But do not cry onion tears tonight or make the people of this country cry. Devesh is listening on to the debate. Before I take a few more callers tonight, I put the floor back to Devesh Thakur. Devesh, despite your newfound proximity with the Congress party, which is making you say anything too critical of the Congress because you're awaiting the Bihar package, will you today fundamentally be clear to your own conscience on the issue of onion prices?
Arnab,
yes.
There's no question of. You see what Mr. Salman, with due respect to him, he seems to be having some extra knowledge of economy, and I think from his dialect it looks as if he has spent more time abroad out of this country. Anyway, with all due respect to him, what he has been trying to do is trying to say why all these things have been happening. Who wants, no, not at all, I never said so. But who wants to know why these things are happening? We want to know how you can control them, why you haven't controlled them up till now.
Absolutely.
Why haven't the prices come down to whatever limits? Who wants to know why these things are happening?
I will.
There's no monsoon shortage, number one.
Respond to that.
Arnab, 1 second.
Let him
Arnab, 1
complete.
second.
Let Mr. Thakur complete.
You know what is the latest, what is the latest messages going around on your mobile and our mobiles? What is the latest message going on? You want to know?
Go ahead.
The message is, for any middle class person, wants to give a gift to someone, the costliest gift he can give is make onion pakoras cooked in petrol and give it to your friend. That is
and therefore I throw a challenge
to anyone.
And therefore I throw a challenge. 1998 in the state elections in Rajasthan, if I am not mistaken, Ashok Gehlot said, it is the government's duty to supply and distribute essential commodities to people at reasonable prices. The government has been insensitive to the sufferings of the people. Communal and caste issues and even criminalization of politics will not be the main poll plank during this election. Ashok Gehlot said, onions will be the biggest issue. And I say today, why does the Congress party not accept a challenge to make onions and vegetable prices, milk prices and food prices the election issue? I say make it an issue and let there be a debate on it.
And tell the people we brought headline inflation down to 5%, and because oil prices are $80 or $90, you pay. Just for your information, Arnab, I've just taken out the oil price data. In 98, when the NDA came into power, the average of 98 oil prices was $11.
Yep.
When we left power in 2004, it was 37.6 0.66. So our prices in our regime went up 3 times in 6 years. In their regime today, the price may be 110 temporarily because of the Syrian problem. But in 2013, the average price has been $87.13. It's on the website, Brent prices, the world crude oil prices.
Let me not get into.
Now,
let me not.
We were able to manage inflation sub 4% with oil prices becoming triple.
Excuse
you
me.
could not manage inflation less than double digit with oil prices having gone up in 9 years. So don't blame oil prices.
By your own admission, oil prices have gone up 3 times.
No, my term during the NDA regime, Salman.
Inflation has not gone up by 3 times.
Well, during the NDA regime, it went from 11 to 37.
By your own admission.
In my regime, and we were able to manage inflation to bring it down to 4%. In your regime, it went from 37 to 87. That's only 2.5 times in 9 years. And you are blaming inflation to the oil prices?
Well, I just, maybe it's once bitten, twice shy for the BJP, because the BJP knows exactly the impact of oil prices when in 1 month, and Piyush, you will remember this, it's the worst nightmare of the BJP when onion prices went up 3 times in 1 month.
I know we lost an election on that.
You lost an election. 2 callers waiting for a long time. Our first caller from Navi Mumbai is Mr. Subramaniam. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Please go ahead. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Subramaniam.
No problem. I am C.K. Subramaniam, a retired bank officer. There is a steep increase in vegetable prices for some time now.
Yes, sir.
Usually the vegetable prices come down drastically during monsoon season. But this time round, the prices are soaring and the common man will be wondering how to make up for the sudden spurt.
Absolutely.
The dearness allowance is increased marginally, and at the same time, the soaring prices of vegetables is a cause of worry. Housewives are hard pressed to meet both the ends and provide the best food items to their children. If the same condition persists for some more time, then the situation will go from bad to worse.
Mr. Subramaniam, thank you for your call and thank you for watching. Salman took that question. Next caller from Baroda. From Baroda, I'm getting a call and it's Satish from Baroda. From every part of this country there are calls, and I can tell you, Salman, you should hear I can hear the phone lines jammed on the Newshour newsroom today.
Pain.
And you need to understand that you would not be understanding the pulse of the people if you don't understand their anger on this issue. Satish from Baroda, go ahead, Satish.
Yeah, Arnab Goswami, good evening.
Satish, go ahead, Satish.
Yeah, Arnab Goswami, as the election nears, Mr. Goswami, Congress party, you find they will talk only about secularism. They don't talk about the economy. Each and every passing day, and they talk about secularism. Mr. Arnab, are you listening? Mr. Arnab, are you listening?
I am very much with you, listening to you. Let's take a few answers. Mr. Satish, thank you for your call, for your observations. And Salman, at the end of the day, you'll have to prioritize issues. You can hear people asking you to prioritize on these issues. And as the debate continues, Salman, more and more people will ask you more and more detailed questions. Running the economy is not just managing your vote banks. It is also being accountable to the people, and they are being crushed.
Correct.
They are being crushed.
Accountable to the people.
They are being crushed.
Be accountable.
Bejon.
No.
And the people will decide.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the people will decide. The people who are calling are not the people in your definition. No, the people who are calling today, Mr. Subramaniam from Navi Mumbai.
You have to understand.
No, one second. Let me ask you this.
You have to understand.
No, let me ask.
Salman, you have to understand.
Okay.
Salman, you have to understand.
Yes.
You have to understand the pain which the consumers are going through. You have to understand that.
Oh, yes.
You have to feel that.
I do.
You have to admit, you have to confess to the nation that you people have failed. You have to confess to the nation that you are not sensitive towards them. You have to confess to the nation that you need to do much more than what you are doing. You have to confess to the nation that you need to do much better work than what you are doing today. If you don't confess to the nation, if you don't admit your fault, you will never improve. You will keep on doing the same mistake which you are doing today. You see, you have to understand that you have to get to the people and you have to understand them. What is their plight? You are talking about certain things which the common man does not understand. They only understand that if you have given them some money,
That's true.
because of their hard work, are they able to lead a decent, comfortable life? They are not able to do that. Are you able to do something to do that? Have you come forward and said, okay, I'm sorry, I've not done that. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I will sit down, I'll consult you people, I will ensure that we are accountable, we are transparent, which you only talk on channels, which you only talk to the media, but you don't let the people and the citizens feel about that accountability.
And you know, it is not the farmers, it is not the farmers, it is not the farmers, it is not the farmers,
which you are not done, and you are not doing it.
It is not the farmers who are responsible for onion prices. It is simply the traders, the big traders, the big cartels, and we want them exposed.
And what price have you given to the
But you are so busy with your competitive politics that you're not looking their way.
They are too flustered. They are playing with the people's lives. They are playing with the people's sentiments. This government should go. The country is suffering every day that this government continues. It is not. The poor man is unhappy. The middle classes are unhappy. Businesses are down. The world is laughing at India. We become a laughing stock. They can't set right anything.
No.
They have no policy. They have no problem except giving entitled rights. They have done nothing. They have not sorted out the common man's problem even one bit.
Okay.
Arnab, I'll make one point. Mr. Piyush Goyal, let me tell you this.
After this, I'm closing.
Ultimately, the people of this country are going to decide.
So you're challenging
on UPA 1 and 2's report card.
So
yes, I'm challenging.
So you're challenging all.
Look, they still have to survive 8 months.
What I want to ask you something. Mr. Soos.
Future, what about the 8 months to the election? What will they do?
No, Mr. Soos.
How will they treat their children?
Mr. Soos, take my question tonight. Take my question. I beseech you, take my question. I'm asking you, you have so much confidence, right? Eventually the people will decide, eventually we'll win the election, etc., etc. I'm asking you only this, Mr. Soos, what about the pain of all the callers, you know? All those people who call from every call, are they not the people of this country?
It is genuine pain.
No, are they not the people of this country? Or you feel that they are not your vote bank, so you don't really need to care much? You feel they are not a consolidated vote bank, right?
By the way. Arnab, please.
The urban middle class is not a consolidated vote bank.
Our party's philosophy.
So you don't need to.
The Congress party, Arnab, please, let me finish now because you asked me a question. The Congress party believes in inclusive growth, inclusive development for all sections of the country, whether they are low-income people, whether they're middle-income people.
I'm asking
and
onion
even
prices.
we need our corporates to do really well.
I think this is
onion prices.
What will people live on for the next 8 months on the hope that they can throw out this government after 8 months?
I put this question. I promise we'll come back to this. Salman Soos, I promise we'll come back to this. But if you're willing to have a debate, then I'd say that on this show and on this channel, we'll debate unemployment, interest rates, EMIs, vegetable prices, price rises and inflation. We'll do this tomorrow on the Newshour tonight. And I'll open the phone lines once again. I thank all our viewers. Only for want of time, I have to take this break. But I promise that tomorrow night on the Newshour, we'll debate this once again. Devesh Thakur is the last word. He has the last word. Yes, please.
Arnab, our friend Salman seems to be more interesting on a debate all the time. He must be told there is something called a rebate in the prices as well.
Well, I think, you know, that's dark humor. But tonight the
prices are going to come down.
The rising prices are a joke on the people. One sec, gentlemen. Tomorrow the debate.
People's palate that needs some food on it.
Well, I think you know it's going out of control. And I'm really sorry to all those whose calls I have not been able to take. I just hope the few calls I took on the Newshour tonight also reflect your voice. Thank you very much. This debate will come back tomorrow night.